sense now. Oh yeah, Mike. Oh yeah.
Sweet. All right, tape measure, skateboards, guitars is going to be a good one.
Wait, tape measure for what?
Because skateboards come in different shapes and sizes.
This is true. Okay.
Which I never used to know about because when I was skateboarding as a lad, which I wanted to talk to you about, like, how did you, do you remember like your first time or how you got into skateboarding?
I do. So I had skateboarding. I got into it, I believe because my mom had a roommate when I was younger, like 5, 6, and he used to skateboard. And so I just kind of, used to watch skate videos with him, and he had an old deck. I'm pretty sure that was the first one that I hopped on.
Oh my God. Dude, those skate videos back then, how different are they than today? It's gotten more advanced, not like a ton more, but
if I started watching them real early 90s, then I would be able to say there was a huge difference, but I don't think it was until mid 90s. I want to say I was probably 9 or 10 when I really got into it.
And that was before the internet too, so it was you're at the skate shop and they just be on in the background, or at a friend's house. I never owned any skate tapes, but you just see them here and there. They were kind of rare.
I had a couple. I had I think literally 2. I had Flip came out with a video. Sorry.
Yep, I've heard a lot about that one.
That's a classic,
legendary video.
Yeah, that, and I think it was probably S. Manic Madi or whatever, or however you want to say it. I think that's how it's pronounced. But
I remember when I never had heard of S before, but then everybody started getting their shoes in high school, and that's how I found out about them.
I got them on right now. They're a little dirty, but yeah, they made a comeback. They kind of fell off the scene. A lot of shoes fell off the scene in the early 2000s because everybody started getting away from the big puffy tongues.
Oh, I just got some of them. I got my first set of skate shoes that I've bought in, I can't even remember how many years since I got my new setup and everything. And they're those ones with the star on the side.
Converse?
I think, yeah, and they're kind of high top.
Yeah.
They were literally the only ones in the store that fit my feet.
And they didn't have a choice. They picked you.
Dude, they're pretty, it's funny because I like them and they're not bad at all. And but then I saw this picture of my uncle from 25 years ago in the same exact shoes.
They've been around for a hot minute.
Holy shit.
Converse, Chuck Taylors, they actually, I think they were made for basketball, but they work really well for skateboarding.
Oh.
Because of the vulcanized sole.
I remember that from the sand lot. They're you run faster and jump higher.
Yeah.
I forget if there was Converse in that, but yeah, same idea.
Back in the day when you could make outrageous claims.
Yeah. So yeah, the only reason I was asking is because I can't remember when I got into skateboarding either. It was just sort of cooler, older people I knew would do it, and there would be an extra board that I would just stand on and try to wrangle it around.
Yeah, I think that's where the interest got sparked, is with the older kids.
Yeah.
And then I didn't find my own and really get into it until, like I said, I think I was 9 or 10, and I the first legitimate board setup I had was a Powell Peralta board. It was it had a penguin on it. I can't remember if it was a pro model or not.
Nice. I can't remember. I just got hand-me-downs from my brother, basically, I think. I can't remember how I got my first boards. But this is the first one I've ever had that's, not in thrashed condition. It's... The deck is basically new. And the wheels are pretty new. They still have some of the ridges on them, even though they're a little faded. And the trucks I've had for years now, but they're still I actually bought these because they're not just whatever was around hand-me-down. It was these, I want these.
It was an interesting choice. I don't know many people that ride those little, the
suspension
trucks.
The suspension. They were made for longboards originally. They flow and pump like really good, and then you can
Nice.
ollie higher.
Really?
Yeah, they're springs.
Oh, I
It's so
guess that
cool.
makes sense. Yeah. I would have thought it would have absorbed like the downward force
It
a little
does do
bit.
that too.
But it can, I guess, since they are springs, it kind of helps lift up as well.
They're sick. The only downside I've found at all is that you don't have as an accurate of a foot placement feeling when you're on coping. It's harder to tell exactly like where
Oh, a
you're
little too
locked
soft.
because they're so soft. There's like some give. It's like an
Yeah.
off-road, truck. It's like the suspension's all going crazy when you're going around corners.
Mhm.
That's like the price you pay.
Yep.
A similar thing there, but like the advantages are totally worth it to me. I mean, if I had like a dedicated half pipe board, I probably wouldn't have them on it.
I do. I did. I only brought one today.
What did you bring?
I brought this bad Larry.
No,
This one's also
Ooh.
very new. I just got it
Wow.
not that long ago.
Got a sticker on there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you've
I got it
disgraced
from
this-
Tactics.
Oh, I like your truck. You got V8 on your truck with fire coming out.
Yeah, this is
pretty sick.
Brian Herman skates for Baker Skateboards. It's his pro model truck. I like Thunders. They have a nice kind of rebound after turning that
Oh, yeah.
Indies and other trucks I don't find.
I've never even compared trucks enough to notice that kind of difference. But they look very cool. I like the angle.
Yep.
The rebound. Oh, that's interesting. I'll have to check that out at some point.
Yeah, most trucks have like not a barrel shaped bushing on the
Oh.
bottom, and I feel like that probably helps with that. It kind of keeps it centered a little bit more.
Whoa. Yeah, my bushings
the
are like
bottom
half
bushing
as
is
tall.
usually like flat.
Yeah, mine's much more flat.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's really cool. But
And then we got the on-delay bearings,
Oh, I don't even-
Spitfire wheels.
I don't even know. Yeah, I've got O'Neill Spitfires. I think these are classics.
Oh yeah, Shane O'Neill. There you go. Yeah, I got the OGs on here as well. Classic 99.
Dude, I flat spotted one of these like a week after putting them on when they were brand new. Now I go around. Brrr, brrr.
No, really?
My first setup I've ever had that wasn't just a hand-me-down, heavily used piece of like semi, not junk, but not great. And of course, right away, I flat spot a wheel. I hit a tiny
Oops.
pebble and just.
Oh, that's what did it. You weren't
Yeah.
even messing around.
No,
trying
I
to,
wasn't
like
even
power
messing
slide or
around. Not
anything.
even playing around.
But yeah, actually found this deck at Darkside. Sorry, not for not supporting Darkside, but I found it like $30 cheaper with grip online. So
Yeah.
But I stood on the board, and I'm gonna do that from now on. I'm gonna
I
try and
know.
buy from shops because I have another deck, and I wasn't fully impressed with it. It looked really nice, and it was an almost impact light, so it has like Kevlar core right here.
Yeah.
But the concave was too steep for me, and the
Yeah.
kick kind of was really up there too. So what I was finding is that my ollies were delayed a little bit more because
Yes, the higher tail took longer to hit.
So I really like this setup. This
Nice.
is like the perfect feeling board for me, and I like how like squared off the noses. It's nice and
Your
fat.
screws are sticking out a little bit.
I like that.
You like that?
Yeah, I
Oh
don't
my
like them
God.
countersunk into the wood.
Really?
No,
Oh my God.
it helps me like kind of feel where they
Wow.
are a little bit.
Well, that's smart because, like I was saying, when you're doing kind of like technical balancing on coping, having accurate foot truck position is
It's nice.
bit is nice.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's funny. I had the same thing happen because I bought a board. This was so in the other room is another deck, and that was the first brand new deck I've ever bought. This was like 6 or 7 years ago now, and I didn't realize that the curve was different on different skateboards.
Yeah, you're concave, man.
Yeah, and when
Steep, mellow.
yeah, and it was too steep, just like you were saying.
Yeah, but it'll create pressure points almost.
It just didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah. It's all up to preference, really.
I
Some
think-
people like it because some people like flick their flip tricks off
Right.
off the side, and having
Yeah.
that concave helps. But
Yep.
if you're doing it off the nose, then Flatter's better.
Yeah, I never had trouble flipping with this much concave. I don't. Is there like a, if you're shopping for a deck, is there a specification for different concaves?
There isn't.
No.
And that's the thing that sucks is if you buy online, there's certain board companies that are going to be a little bit more mellow and they'll advertise whether they're mellow or not.
That's crazy. You think there'd be like a number.
There is, but you don't see the number. You don't know the actual deck that you're getting because when they press them, they do between 6 and 8 at a time. And we have that much wood. The top one is going to have the most concave, and the bottom one's going to be the shallowest.
Yeah, and I also got a wider board because I've got big feet. They're like size 11 and a half-ish. And I figured...
Yeah, I wear 11s. I actually should be like a 10 and a half, but the width is
same
not
thing
there.
With me. I used to have some 12s just because you can't get an 11 and a half wide.
Right.
Then you have all this toe room.
Yeah, the wides are too wide, and with skate shoes, they don't really.
There's not.
They either come wide because that's how the company makes them.
Exactly. That's how I guess they're Converse, but it's just a star on the side. That's how mine are. They're like the only ones that weren't crushing my feet sideways in the store.
Yeah.
But so I bought a wider board because I figured I've got big feet, and then I tried it and I didn't like it, and I realized I'm more comfortable with like half my foot hanging off the board.
Really? Yeah, I was gonna say your trucks don't look very wide.
This is 8.
Straight 8. This is 8 point. It says it right on there somewhere. Or it did. I thought it did. It's 8.347 or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
So about 8 and a third, somewhere around 8.4. Not quite an 8.5.
I like how the retro boards are coming back with the slider rails and everything.
Yeah.
Those are so sick.
Yep.
And when somebody does a trick on that, it's like literally twice as hard as a normal skateboard.
Yeah, this is like 8.3 according to Straight Across.
That's probably about the size that my deck was that I bought that was too wide that is also too concave, but...
Really? That's too wide for you?
Let me grab it. It might be good for like the half pipe.
I mean, I don't know. 8.3 is good for like regular trick stuff, and then I'll go to 8.5 if I'm doing just like mini ramp or whatever.
Yeah, it'd be cool to have a dedicated ramp board, but there's no good mini ramp around here anymore.
Yeah, I know. Where did Devin go? Oh, I can't get it back far enough.
So scraped up all that stuff. So yeah, this was the one I rode for years. That was my second hand-me-down.
Yeah.
And I always liked it a lot in terms of the shape and everything.
You have a death wish and you're not riding this.
Can you believe that?
Oh my god.
You're going to have to take it if you want to ride it, because I'm not going to. Isn't that sick, though? I bought it mostly
sick.
Dude, the graphics.
Yeah.
Death
Wish are usually, it's a Neen Williams. Oh, hell yeah. He's the heel flip king.
Oh, is he? That's so funny, because I got heel flips better than kick flips when I was practicing. And so let's see, if I stand on this one... Yeah, I don't like that. Too much concave. And the width I don't love. I could deal with if it wasn't so concave.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's... I mean, I used to have a Neen Williams Death Wish. I wonder if this is any better or different or whatever. Yeah, it is a little bit steeper than is normal. I wonder if it's higher on the pressings.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Because the ones that I've had before are like... A little bit. Ooh.
I know. I need to like sell it or something.
Gotta find the sweet spot.
Yeah, I remember growing up just like skateboarding in the street, kind of, and like in garages and like barns.
Yeah.
Like when you're a kid and you're bored, it's fun to just like balance and roll around on it.
You remember? You hung out with Tyler Marston a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Before he got all super well. He's always been weird, but like
that poor kid, yeah, he's been through a lot.
Yeah, yes. But yeah, he had this is like a straight 8 too.
Really?
Yeah, or maybe 8 1/4. Maybe 8 1/4. Slightly wider.
8 1/4.
Yeah, slightly wider.
And
it's still a little bit not quite as wide as I'd like.
Really?
Yeah.
And then the no pads between the trucks and the deck.
Yeah, no riser pads.
Do you have any right now?
No, nobody does that anymore.
My original, when I skated back in the day, my hand-me-downs had them. I remember I had like the hard rubber and then the soft rubber layers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I don't need it though, because when I turn, my wheels don't hit. So
Yeah. I mean, nobody really uses them.
I didn't know that.
I think they help with wheel bite, I guess, if you want huge wheels on like a shallower
Sure.
board. But
yeah, the other thing I could see is like if you want the height in terms of like center of balance when you're popping and stuff, maybe spacers could do something for you, but it feels fine for me without them.
yeah, I've always liked like lower profile. Like that's the nice thing about Thunders too, is like
Helps you pop.
they're not an actual low truck, but the base plate is kind of thin on them. So
I never even heard of Thunder before. It's so funny being like a casual like skate enthusiast, because like I've been into it for a long time, but never really looked into it. You know.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I just hyper fixate on a lot of stuff, and I like to know everything about them once I get into it. If I'm into it, I'm into it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, I can't wait to ride that thing some more.
We'll have to do a cast at the park.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be hard. We've got to wrangle Manny in some kind of livestock holding cell.
Oh, he can bring his scooter and push around.
That's true.
He's got a skateboard, but he doesn't like not having handlebars for some reason.
That makes sense, dude. Some of those scooter kids are insane.
Yeah.
It started off as like a joke, and then they were like, actually, I'm gnarly as fuck.
Right? They're like, oh, triple fucking backflip with a tail whip. And
yeah. You know what I don't like is like people bringing their mountain bikes into the skate park. And this never used to bother me, but now you know why it does now is because they leave rocks. The rubber wheels.
And they just like, if you're gonna ride a bike at a skate park, it really should be a BMX bike.
And I get it, because like nobody around here, we live in the countryside, so everybody has mountain bikes. And then when they're by the skate park, they're like, oh, there's ramps, I gotta try it. And like, that's fine. I used to do that too, but like, I hate hitting pebbles. It's the worst. If I could have a guaranteed no pebble park, I would skate with 3 times the confidence.
Yeah, they'll fuck you up pretty good. It sounds funny, but rocks and pebbles.
Dude, when you're old and brittle, rocks are the scariest fucking thing.
I did when I was like I think 28 or something. I messed up my shoulder for like 4 days because when I fell down, I had full forearm coverage, so that didn't really hurt too bad. But when I fell down, it went like into my neck. My shoulder did. And that thing was jacked up for like 3 or 4 days. It was because of a rock, of course. Whenever I hurt myself, it's something super stupid. It's never anything cool.
Was that the 8-foot drop in at Ludlow? Is that the same fall?
No, that was a different one. That was the 8 or 9 foot quarter pipe trying to do a rock and roll on it, and I got hung up.
Oof, rock and rolls are kind of scary.
For me, they're not though,
because the truck is like a disaster. It's like
in my mind, like a blunt stall is way scarier. So like getting the back truck on and then popping off and coming in. Like rock is not quite as bad.
I saw a video. I found some really fun skate channels within the last year, and I forget which channel it was on, but there was a bunch of guys that went over to like Bob Burnquist's house or something, and we're
Mega Ramp. Yeah, dude, he's nuts.
No, Steve Caballero.
Oh, okay.
He has like a nice. It's not a mini ramp. It's like a small ramp in his backyard. It's like the perfect size for having fun, like 4 or 5 feet or whatever.
Cool.
And there's a bunch of cool people that were like really good that came over, and one of those things that they were doing was like coming down and purposely catching the truck on the coping as like a funny trick.
Yeah. No, fuck that.
I know. I'm sure, dude. Yeah. But then one guy tried to do that and like fell, and then they were like teaching him how to do it. They're like, no, you can't. You have to like sort of like do it this way, and then there's a way to do it consistently. I forget what it is, but they've got so many. He was like doing troll tricks where it's like it looks like he's about to do one thing, then it goes to another thing, like all these like funny gotcha tricks.
Nice.
A lot of fun creative stuff.
I'll have to look that up.
I'll have to try to find it if I search my history. But let's paint a skull up there. Or actually, in fact, I think you should paint it because you're much more artistic. I'm thinking on the top right, up there.
You want me to paint a skull with a 3-inch brush?
Is it in camera shot, do you think?
Oh, it's definitely. I mean, we got wide angles over there, but
I made this brush. There's a bit of a separation that's kind of annoying.
that's probably better.
It's a good. That's the size I was planning on using, I think.
Or even the small
that one's
guy.
not bad for detail either. You could outline it with that and then reinforce it with this.
I might even just do the whole thing with this. All right.
I mixed it
We
up
got
a
the
little bit.
big gallon paint.
It was like $9. This is like the cheapest primer they had, which is very nice.
Go to town. All right.
Exactly.
I'm gonna have the viewers stare at my ass.
I'll crop it out. I'll put like a little heart. I'll put a skull and crossbones over it. I'll put a dragon breathing fire out.
There you go.
Oh man. But yeah, no, and it's cool learning skateboarding by not really being, it was fun learning it casually and not trying to be like a professional skater at the park, because it was like at friends' houses, like.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of that around here. I mean, this is more like rocky, earthy, like you said, a lot of more like mountain bike type stuff. We are not a metropolitan area, therefore skateboarding kind of gets the back burner in most cases, unless, like you said, in barns and just like.
Yeah, I remember, was it Nick Stumpf that had that barn across from his house?
The hot air balloon kid.
And he had that old school skateboard I would ride on, and then the barn was like, it almost had like a concrete chute built into it from like the livestock or something. It almost looked like one of those California River concrete, where it's flat on the bottom and then angled on the sides. Like a mini one.
Yeah, I remember there was actually quite a few kids for the area were like into skating, which was awesome.
And the park was we were so lucky how good the park was when we were in high school.
Oh yeah.
I don't know who designed those ramps, but they A+.
Yeah.
Especially that double mini ramp with the rollover. Oh man.
Oh yeah. Those
so
were the golden days.
Oh,
wow. What happened to that place? It went downhill so bad. And they just redid it, and all they did was like add like a couple fun boxes and a new rail, and that's it.
No,
and they still have massive cracks, like 2 inches wide in the pavement. It's really not skatable.
No, it's awful. It's one of the worst parks. The half pipe is like, remember Rocket Power?
Yeah.
The half pipe was like a shape that you can't skateboard.
Uh-huh.
That's kind of how the new half pipe is there, and the one in Springfield is like that. So both of our.
Yeah, they need to up their game. They need to go concrete. If you're in New England, there's no reason to have like skate light or wooden.
And I don't even mind it if it's the right shape. You don't want that on the camera. But yeah, the point I was trying to make is like, it was basically skateboarding as a way to like not be bored while I'm hanging out with my friends. So I would just like try to balance on the rear truck or like tic-tac around. And it's not like I was at a park trying to like, okay, I need to learn to drop in today. I'm going to learn to 50-50 today. It was like very, because those core balance instincts of just like being able to balance on your back truck and tic-tac and ride without feeling like you're about to fall like a brand new person would.
Right.
It's so easy and fun to build those skills just hanging out with your friends, just standing on a board.
Yeah, I mean, if you had the right group of friends, there was no pressure.
Yeah.
And, you know...
Oh, that's awesome.
They're like... everybody was at their own level, and I think for the most part, everybody was pretty respectful, like whether you were just a beginner or if you were just shredding, and like there's just a general feel of stoke.
Yeah. Yeah, that ramp was pretty sweet at Chester too. The big wall, the big angle ramp, and then the kicker, and then the quarter pipe.
Yeah.
It was really nicely set up.
Yes, it was. The good old days.
I wonder where the closest good half pipe is, or a half pipe that I would like at least. There's not one
we'll
that...
have to research it.
Yeah. because there's not one around like used to be in Chester or Ludlow, where it's like it's not mini and it's like small.
Yeah, no vert.
No vert.
Like as big as you can get without vert.
Like a 4 or 5 foot pipe with no vert.
Yeah. Ideal.
Yeah.
Oh, I might have to like touch this up to even out the tones here, but
it looks pretty awesome though. It's way better than if I did it. Mine would have just been like a 2-dimensional outline of a skull. It just has so much depth and detail compared to what I was gonna do. It looks awesome.
Oh, well, thank you, lad.
And then what we can do is next time or whatever, we can use this same yellow here, maybe, and outline it just to match. I don't know.
Oh, I like your style.
And then also, while we're here, do we want to do any waves, like ocean waves across the top?
Could.
I think we should. Maybe a pirate ship. I don't want to distract you too much. I know it's hard to paint and talk at the same time. But
I got my Bob Ross going right now. I'm in the mode. I'm having fun.
Nice.
I can feel myself kind of concentrating a little bit too much, but I think at this rate, I'm able to pull myself out.
No, it's perfect. All right.
Touch.
I'll just keep you going with, we'll move on to, because since we're both big skateboarders, but also big guitar players.
Oh, hell yeah.
So same kind of deal. Like, do you remember how you started playing guitar?
I do. It was actually a gift. I didn't start until I was 12, and I had a nylon acoustic that was a gift from my grandmother. And I didn't find out till later that my grandmother knew how to play the guitar, so I think she was kind of imparting this
that's so cool
family tradition, more or less.
Because I didn't ever plan on learning it either. My parents just like got me a guitar and started lessons.
Oh,
when I was 15 or 16. Oh. I don't really remember because I smoked too much weed to remember well, which I do regret. I wish my friend had never. You know who you are.
My friend, you know who you are.
No, but I just remember being in the guitar store with my dad. I don't know how we got to the point of me getting, like, I don't remember ever asking for one. But, yeah, he got me like a midnight blue Mexican Stratocaster and a starter amp, which I still have, which I still like. Because it's, like, blown now. And it actually sounds awesome with distortion when it's blown out.
Yeah.
Like, small blown out speakers sound really cool.
Yeah, that's, I'm pretty sure that's how distortion actually started, by mistake with a blown out speaker.
Yeah. And I remember I got home with that, and then he set me up with this guy, Russ, who I don't know if you knew him.
I don't.
But he looked,
recall.
He like was associated with Russo's.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
He taught me guitar, and he played drums and stuff too. He looked like he was straight out of the 70s. He drove like a 70s looking car with like the huge trunk. And he had like the hair and the mustache, like it was all 70s.
I think we're about done with the skull here. It's about as good as I want to get it.
Oh, yeah. Let's get some waves going when you're...
Some waves?
Yeah, I think this brush might be good for waves. Or the big one, too.
Yeah,
just go for it.
Just go for it. Just go for broke.
Yeah, this sign, we're going to have to do a 2.0 at some point because despite my best efforts, the construction quality... It's...
Oh, yeah, she's getting more and more tape, huh?
Yeah. That seam never stays together up there, and it kind of folds in half. But besides that, it's not too bad. But I am a little disgraced because I can do so much better than that. But it's what I had on hand, and I just doubled up the cardboard. But yeah, I'm actually pretty thankful that my parents got me started on guitar because I never would have voluntarily... Like in school, they have you try out for all the instruments, but guitar's not an option. It's really weird.
Yeah, I hear that these days they actually do electric in some places, which is really cool to hear, but I definitely know that guitar was lacking when we were kids, especially the electric version. Like you could do...
It was like
do a classical, I guess.
I don't remember that being an option. Maybe it was in school, but it's like back then it was like only classical instruments were the options.
Yeah.
And I picked saxophone. And I was actually not that bad at it. I need to get a new mouthpiece because I still have my saxophone and just like the mouthpiece is gone for some reason. It's actually kind of a cool instrument. But yeah, middle school, the couple things I remember from middle school is like choosing saxophone as an instrument, looking back on it, thinking like, why not, didn't they have guitars? And the other thing was like getting cut from the basketball team in like 4th or 5th grade. And I was not a good player at all, so I totally understand why I got cut. But it's funny just looking back because I didn't realize that I can still play basketball if I'm not on the team. It's not like a big deal.
Right.
But back then it seemed like a big deal to me. I always loved basketball a lot though. I was never the best shooter, but I had like pretty good ball handling skills without practicing, which was cool. It's very satisfying feeling just to be like naturally talented at anything, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And so I can still handle the ball pretty good, dribbling. I mean,
I was good at shooting. I couldn't handle
nice.
the ball for nothing. That's
Shooting's
why I
hard.
never played. Like, just getting down the court was the issue.
Dude, those passes, they're like missile, take your head off. Those good players.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You don't know.
You don't want to give the other person a chance to steal it. So it's just like, bah! You're like,
you get destroyed if you're not looking.
oh, yeah.
It's crazy. It's funny though, like talking about shooting. Here. I was never great at shooting. I was like okay sometimes. But did you know that it's actually easier to make a free throw in underhand than overhand?
I would assume so. I mean,
I tried
when
it.
You're a younger kid, granny shots. Well, that's what we called them anyhow. Were the were the go-to until you could jump and had enough upper arm strength.
It's pretty funny because like Shaq, notoriously bad at free throws.
Yeah.
But
you should probably just do them underhanded, right?
Right, and I think he might have done that temporarily, but he basically stopped just because of like the embarrassment. Which is pretty funny, I think.
All right. I kind of like that. It's a little artsy.
Yeah, no, I like it. It's
texture.
Same thing as the skull, where if I painted those waves, it would have been like the 2D upside down, like C's shapes.
Gotcha, yeah.
And yours has depth and detail, unlike mine would have been, which is very cool.
Now we going into the boat up
yes,
here? All right.
The Jolly Roger.
All right.
You know what I noticed about depictions of pirate boats versus real pirate boats? Real pirate boats often had like 3 sails tall or more. And the depictions will sometimes have like only 1 or 2 sails tall. But yeah, I watched, I got into ships over the last couple of years a little bit. But yeah, it's just funny like being embarrassed to throw a free throw underhand even though you're better at it that way.
Yeah. I don't know what happened along the lines where it's like not acceptable. Somebody was like, "Hey, you're a pussy if you throw it that way." It's so funny.
It's like the same thing that happened to rollerblading. Like rollerblading is fun.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're in that crew, then it's not a big deal.
Or like hula hooping.
The thing is that skateboard and rollerbladers have beef, and I don't even fully understand it. I just know it exists.
Matt Cloud was good at rollerblading.
Matt Cloud. Oh my goodness. I haven't heard that name in forever.
His sister was so hot. Oh my god. Everybody would tell him that. He'd be like, shut up. That must suck so much.
Yeah, definitely.
He was really good at rollerblading though. I remember him like airing out of both sides of the half pipe and doing all sorts of tricks.
Matt Cloud.
And I was
yeah. I haven't heard that in forever.
He was a good kid. Wonder what he's off to now.
I don't know. I quite often wonder what the other folk have been up to. A lot of people left. Not a whole lot of people stayed.
Yeah, there are a few of the good rats left here. Reminds me of like the Dropkick Murphys album that I love. Where they talk about, there's a song about rats. Like they're talking about themselves like rats in a bar. They actually got mice sounds and stuff. It's an interesting production because like Man, the Dropkick Murphys, they had like their band members came and went over the years. They were never the same band for more than like 6 months. As far as like, I haven't done a lot of research, but they're kind of like lads, you know?
Yeah.
And, but it's interesting because like I only ever really got into one of their albums, and their production quality is not super high. It's not terrible, but it's not great. It's like typical punk production quality.
You kind of want that with punk, though.
Yeah.
You're too clean, then you're not really punk.
Yeah. But it's funny looking back on it because like some of this, it's interesting having like really high production value aspects mixed in with bad. Because it's like, oh, we see that you have these capabilities, but you're not really consistent with them, which is sort of how I am. I'm not consistent.
Yeah, I'm very much a jack of all trades, master of none.
Because they had like mouse or like rat squeaking effects, and like they went pretty good in all out onto it. But then like the issue is the overall sound quality is a little tinny. It's a little raspy.
Oh, that's too bad.
So it's not the worst.
For someone that really enjoys mid-range bass,
yeah,
you know, having something tinny is not ideal.
No, but
for my preference, anyhow.
No. Yeah, it's funny. I was watching. Remember that I was talking about that Australian guy Moog that doesn't like the word moist?
Yeah.
He produces music, and he's been doing it for many years now, and he's got like a nice studio, and he was showing it off in a video, and his speakers have like multiple woofers. Like the first woofer is like the normal like 5 1/4 inch or whatever that you see on like most average speakers. That's like a pretty good all-round size. But then he's also got below that is like 7 inch or so, maybe 7.5, like some bigger boys.
Some big boy. Tell you what.
And talking about appreciating lower, like mid-range bass and all that stuff is like people, I guess he was commenting that people had commented that they were critical of his speaker choice for being a producer because it's a colored speaker. It's not like a pure sound for production.
Right. I could see that happening.
But he's like, yeah, but the thing is, I like to enjoy how my music sounds.
Zinger!
Right? And I'm totally with him there because it's like, I've gotten deep into the depths of audiophile stuff before buying headphones and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get into the purest, most analytical headphones and stuff, there is no bass.
Yeah, flat response or whatever.
Yeah. Which is weird because, nice, that looks pretty good.
Yeah, about as good as I want to make it.
Yeah, the sign looks...
I mean, I'm using primer on cardboard, so...
I love how complete the sign looks now. It was so empty before.
The lads, we're on the 7 Seas.
Right, I guess we gotta wash these brushes out real quick, huh?
Yeah, probably should. Don't want them drying too long there.
Real quick, hey?
A? B?
I met a Canadian at the West Virginia Festival, and every sentence ended with hey. Need a hammer for that, too.
All right. There she blows. Lock the door, hide the children, the beast has arisen.
Hide your kids, hide your wife. All right, so before the guitar thing, I've got a couple of things I thought of. Oh man, I heard the funniest words the other day. I didn't write them down. It was like a hilarious Dirty Mind take on a normal set of words that was so good.
Yeah.
My phone broke, so I wasn't writing it down, but I got another thing. So what if you had long hair, what would you ever put it in, like a man bun or a ponytail?
If it got in the way, probably. I don't think it would be a style choice for me.
Yeah. Same for me.
Out of necessity.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, most of the time it's like if I'm eating, like my hair's like going in my mouth.
I have to trim my stash for that reason. There's this weird in-between point where you can't like twirl it out of the way.
Yeah.
And it just kind of curls naturally into your lip, and it's
I just tried to trim mine before the podcast, and the battery was dead in my trimmer.
Oh.
Just doing the same thing.
Tell ya.
So God.
God.
It is not good. Did you have a guitar teacher when you started, or how did it go?
No, I just kind of played around with it and like played what sounded good to me, and then I found out about tablature. I think I was in a music shop,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I figured out what tablature was and started learning that way. Never really learned sheet music. Just kind of there were songs that I wanted to play that I couldn't really figure out.
Same.
So tabs
I
are what I
remember
turned to.
our family's very first computer used to be right here, and it had the big floppy disks and the turbo button.
The turbo button.
It was so cool, and it would boot up in like the command prompt, and you had to type in like Windows.
Oh my
Like
goodness.
press enter.
That's old school.
Yeah, I remember looking at my first tab on there, and it was like I'm running down the road trying to loosen my load.
I see every woman on my mind.
So let's see your beast there. You've gone on a journey through guitar selections.
I have. I'm getting older, so like my style's changing. Before it was pretty much anything that was like had horns on the body and humbuckers. I was like, if it could do metal, that's what I was about. But then
Dun dun dun.
I started getting into like shoegaze and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And you know, just mellowing out in my old age a little bit, but still the rock mentality. So I've got.
Is that a Strat?
It's a Telecaster. Yeah.
But it's like contoured.
Yeah, it's an Aerodyne Telecaster. So
I had a Telecaster that I bought and sold back a couple years ago.
Made in Japan.
And it was chunky. It didn't have that nice contour.
Yeah.
It's a nice design though.
Yeah. Yep. It's and it has a 12-inch radius neck instead of the typical, like I think they do like 9 for traditional Telecasters. So it's a little bit slimmer. It's easier to play, in my opinion. It's closer to an Ibanez neck, a little bit flatter. But it's got the locking tuners on there.
For when you're doing your dive bombs?
No, it's just string change and tuning stability. I don't have a Floyd Rose to do my dive bombs.
Dude, that one video of Panama cover, holy shit. Guy plays it like identical to the recording.
Nice.
It's just insane watching his fingers go. Like,
and it sounds good, just like not even plugged in, even though it's an electric.
Yeah.
But
your last guitar was pretty sweet too.
yeah, I think that green Ibanez is that what
remember.
I still have that.
It wasn't a Telecaster.
It's in a coffin case under the bed.
So that has a narrower neck than a standard Telecaster. Nice.
Yeah, it does.
Is that drop D?
It is.
Oh, he's a metal boy. You know, it's like... Oh, I love galloping though. I never got good at it, but I always wanted to be.
I struggled with it for a long time, and actually just the other day I found a video that I wish I had seen when I was learning.
Yeah?
And he said if you do a triangle, that's kind of what you want to do. So when you're...
I gotta show you these pics too. Then I want to see your triangle, because you just reminded me. I got some crazy pics.
I got a crazy pick. This is an acoustic attack, or acoustic, or however you say it.
I can't wait to see it, because you actually gave me these picks.
Uh-huh.
Because you didn't like them, and they've been my favorite picks for years now. These Dunlop grippy ones.
Oh yeah, the grips are great. This has grip on it too.
All right, show me the triangle.
So when you're doing it, you kind of want to go in a triangle pattern. So you go, what did he say? You're going...
If you just do it without
it's 3 notes. It's down, up, down, but you kind of want to do it in a triangle, so you're... You sound decent at it.
I can do it for like a second, but like consistent is like, if I did it for more than 2 seconds, it would be, my wrist is already literally burning a little bit just from doing it.
Really?
I'm ridiculously out of shape. It's embarrassing.